What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to 1TS Daily, live right here at One True Sport. How's it going? I'm Zack Heydorn, your host from Sports Illustrated and from Brass Ring Media. Pumped to be here. Glad to have you here with me. Thank you. It's Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. It's cold here in Chicago still. Does anybody else just get into the place where it's like once you get past like the holidays, you're like up and through the holidays, okay, you're good with cold weather. Then when the holidays end, you're like, okay, springtime. That's exactly where I am right now. It's just so cold and miserable out there. But luckily, I get to sit here and chat with you guys about pro wrestling, and I'm really pumped to do that. If you're watching on YouTube, hello, and thank you for being here. If you're watching on Twitter, thank you so much, or I guess X, I should say. Appreciate you being here as well. But we do this show every single day right around this time and give you your quick fix of what's going on in the pro wrestling world, talk a little wrestling, and then get on with the day. It's a very snackable daily 20-minute or thereabouts show. So glad you're here. We migrated all of our Brass Ring Media content to the One True Sport YouTube channel at the start of the year. I run Brass Ring Media. We have all sorts of different platforms where you can catch our stuff. The live video shows are now on the One True Sport YouTube channel. So check those out. If you want to get those shows in audio form, go and subscribe to the Brass Ring Media podcast feed, wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. All the shows populate live right there, and you can get everything that we do here over there. And we have also new content dropping on the Brass Ring Media YouTube channel, so you can subscribe there too. And I hope that you do. And then, of course, we've got our newsletter that is all of our written work that goes out every single day. I hope that you check that out too. Subscribe there. It's totally free to do that, and we'd be glad to have you. I'll talk a little bit more about Brass Ring Media membership as well, but we'd love to have some of you guys join us there too, and more on that in a little bit. I got the live chat going. We got some people already filing in there this morning. Amy says good morning and says, I fell asleep and missed Raw. Oh, no. You need to tell me what happened. I will tell you what happened. Amy, thanks for being here. Of course, Andrew H. says it's 70 here in Eastern North Carolina. Come on, man. That just hurts. It's just kicking a man while he's down. Although I'm happy for you. I really am. But I'm also supremely jealous because it's like 10 or 20 outside and it's rough. It's rough. Brian is here in the chat. Fernando says, what's up, everyone? Maria says, good morning. What's up, you guys? Brian, I got your note here. We were going to talk about that. What Dave Meltzer said about The Rock this morning. So stand by. Stand by on that one. So the plan here for the morning is we want to run through Raw, talk a little bit about what happened last night, analyze that, talk a little bit of news, as Brian pointed out, and then, of course, preview tonight's episode of NXT quickly. So that is our agenda, and man, that will go. Time will fly. If you want to get a question in or a comment or a topic that you want me to get to, either drop it in the live chat or, better yet, send us a super chat. That would be wonderful for you to do that. We certainly would appreciate it. Yeah, thank you in advance for that. We'll get to all super chats that we can right here on the show. It's kind of the lifeblood of what we do here. So thank you in advance if you're able to send one of those in. Cool. All right, so last night on Raw, first of all, I thought it was a good show. I thought overall it was a really good show, a good follow-up to the Royal Rumble. I think they kept all the key storylines right on track. Right on track. And the biggest story coming out of the Royal Rumble is Jey Uso, right? And so to me, it was really important. And I was looking forward to seeing what the response would be like for Jey Uso. Some reports kind of circling in some smaller circles yesterday that people were disappointed with Jey winning and what have you. But, man, I don't think they are. I think Jey Uso last night aced the test, aced the follow-up test on that Royal Rumble win. What's going on, Clint? Clint just joined the show. He says, yo, everyone. What's going on, Clint? Jey Uso aced that test. The entrance alone took almost 10 minutes before he could talk or do anything. I mean, really positive crowd reaction. They were engaged. They were doing the yeet entrance thing, but it was deeper than that. It was a deeper engagement than just that. Jey Uso was really emotional to start the show. It seemed like he had trouble in a good way, like getting those words out because he was so overwhelmed by the response. And I just think that that's exactly what you wanted if you're Jey Uso, and more so than that, that's the exact crowd response you'd want if you were WWE, the company that booked him to win this match, surprise win, shock underdog win, and then he gets that response. And so it was a perfect night at the office for Jey Uso. To go even further with it, Jey needs to be walking backstage and walking right up to Gunther and going, thank you. Because Gunther last night, such a pro. The way that he delivered his lines was so dismissive of Jey and saying to Jey, hey, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in wrestling you anymore. It's like a twist on, the heel dismissiveness. Like it's taking the question of who is Jey Uso going to face and totally flipping it on its head with a different psychology. And it works because Gunther's character is exactly that way. You could totally get that Gunther would be interested in a title match at WrestleMania that would enhance his legacy, and him thinking that Jey Uso can't be that for him. There's heat there, and he played it perfectly. The way he talked down to Jey, the way that he threatened Jey after the fact and saying, if you do pick me, you're gonna regret doing that because I will hurt you every single day, every week until WrestleMania. And then at WrestleMania, it will be a show of violence that history has never seen before. Like, just perfect. And Jay's the best guy to play off of in that scenario because he's got such an intense bond with that crowd. It's fantastic. It's really, really, really good stuff. And I think they're going to milk the Jey Uso thing for a little bit longer in terms of who he's going to wrestle. Like, it seems like the Gunther match is the one that they're going to want to do. But you got to give credence to the notion that, okay, if Jey really had this opportunity and he could face any champion that he wanted, I mean, it's totally viable and reasonable to think that he'd want to talk to each champion, right? Or at least the two main champions. So he's going to SmackDown this week and to talk to Cody Rhodes. Like, I think that totally tracks as something that he would do. So they're going to get a little bit out of this, but I think in the end they land on the Gunther match, and I think that's exactly where they should land. As I said yesterday on the show, I would go all the way with Jey on this one. I really would. I would go all the way if you could, right? Like, if you got 10 weeks or so until WrestleMania, and if Jey is hot enough by WrestleMania and the story still clicks and he's still the guy and people are still reacting to him every week like they did last night, then I think you can drop him in the main event on night one and go with it. I mean, why not? Now, that match, Gunther versus Jey Uso, also leaves the opportunity open that if he doesn't stay hot or if he doesn't carry the momentum with him like he had last week, then you can just pull out of the main event and put something else in there. So it gives you options. But I would be looking for Jey to keep hitting home runs here so that you can put him in the main event. Go all the way. You gave him the big Royal Rumble win, so keep going if you can. And I think last night is a really good indication that they in fact can do it. And it's pretty special. Pretty cool if you're Jey. And again, I think big props to Gunther because that it just you need a great heel to play off of if you're a babyface. And Gunther was a great heel last night. He knew the job. He wasn't interested in getting cheers. He wasn't interested in getting respect. He wasn't interested in any of that. He was interested in helping shine Jey. And he did. And it worked. Good segment. Really good opening segment. Now, on the other hand, Charlotte Flair, not as good of a not as good of a first night as Royal Rumble winner. There's something about the Charlotte presentation that doesn't work as a babyface. I think people are too dialed into what she's been in WWE and what the opportunities that she's gotten in WWE. This quest to, get 16 world titles or 17 or whatever, wherever they're going to go with it. It's really, really forced. And Charlotte's really, really good, but she has no ability to garner sympathy. Even as she's describing her injury and the road to recovery, it's there's just something about the way she talks and the tone of her voice that you just don't feel as bad for her as you probably should. And that was on display last night. And I it's crazy that WWE can't see this. Vince McMahon couldn't see it. Looks like Triple H can't see it either, right? And you trot her out there to cut this promo, this victory promo, but there's no recognition of the fact that it's Charlotte Flair and she's got the relationship with the audience that she has. And so this idea that you're going to bring her back as a babyface, I think, was unfounded from the beginning. And then last night seemed to me like they pivoted right away. That they're we're not going to try to swim upstream on this. Charlotte, just lean into those boos. You're a heel now. Rhea Ripley's babyface, and there you go. And that's pretty much what happened. So I do give Charlotte a good grade for recognizing the reaction she was getting, pivoting, and using that to get a bigger reaction for herself as a heel, for Rhea Ripley as the babyface. That's thumbs up. So hopefully now that means that they've totally pivoted here, but they got to understand that there's something missing with Charlotte, and I don't mean missing from a star point of view. I just mean missing from a babyface point of view. She doesn't have that in her, and she never has. And yet they keep going to it for some reason. It's bizarre. You had the encounter between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley last night. Rhea, trying to pitch Charlotte to pick her again so they can have a trilogy match at WrestleMania. I think that there's something to that, honestly. Based on what they did yesterday, and the interest that the crowd had in that, I don't think that that's the plan, but I think they could get a really good third WrestleMania match out of Rhea and Charlotte. It seems like it's it does seem like a different dynamic now with Rhea being, the type of star that she is. Last night you said, first time we met, I was just a kid. Now I've grown up. I'm different. This is my show. I think it's a totally new dynamic with babyface Rhea Ripley going up against her. So I think that there's an opportunity there. I don't think they're going to go that way, but it is on the table. Andrew H in our chat says people need to get over it. She's a main event player in ring, especially you're going to start her in NXT, please. Yeah, I mean, nobody should be advocating for that. I mean, come on, there has to be some good faith effort here on the part of fans and analysts and whoever to to recognize that, okay, maybe Charlotte's not a babyface, but she's not an NXT talent. Like, she is a 14-time world champion. Like, you give her a return at the biggest way you can. And I think the Rumble was a good way to do that, but you just have to do it with her in the right lane. And that's what they goofed on, and so they fixed it now, it seems. Hopefully she stays, in that heel lane. It's better for her there. She's more comfortable there. It's better for the talent around her there too. Last night on Raw, we also had 2 qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. Liv Morgan defeated Io Sky in like one of the worst finishes that I think Raw has had in weeks. Like, Rhea Ripley, the babyface, gets the other babyface counted out or disqualified. Like, yeah, come on. If you're gonna do the match, just do the match. You can beat Io Sky, right? I mean, I think it'd be fine if Io Sky got a push, but like, you can beat her. You can beat Liv Morgan. Like, you don't need that kind of protection for either of those 2 women. And I mean, what are they gonna go to? Are they gonna do like a quick Rhea Ripley Io Sky match? I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess that'd be the babyface thing to do, right? You didn't. I cost you your opportunity to wrestle in Elimination Chamber to earn your WrestleMania match against me. So here you go. Here's the title match. I mean, I guess they could do that, but I don't know. I thought that was a really bad finish. And then in the main event, you had CM Punk against Sami Zayn. Punk wins this one. And he qualifies for Money in the Bank. Totally clean finish. This was a really good match. This was CM Punk's best, like, true, like, wrestling match. Like, nothing, like, no Hell in a Cell. Take that out. Take out War Games. Take all that out. I think this is like a top 3 match for him since he came back. Period. In AEW back in 2021. Like, I think he looked great, and being in there with Sami Zayn obviously helps. Sami's a pro's pro, and you're gonna get, if you can't have a good match with Sami Zayn, you're in trouble. But it was good. It was good. I thought Punk held his own. The angle at the end with Kevin Owens attacking Sami Zayn, we're gonna see where that takes us. But Zayn isn't in Elimination Chamber, so. What are those guys going to do at WrestleMania? They're on track to face each other, it looks like, but Randy Orton is still out there. So we'll have to see where things are at. What's Seth going to think of Sami losing to Seth Rollins after that impassioned speech that he gave him ahead of the show? I don't know. So that's all up in the air. So, yeah, those were like the beats of Raw last night. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a really good show, as I said. All right. Let's talk a little bit of news. We had Brian earlier in the chat here say, Dave Meltzer said The Rock is mad about his status being leaked about WrestleMania. Yeah, so this is the report coming out of the Wrestling Observer this morning that The Rock did not like the fact that people found out that he was not going to be wrestling at WrestleMania this year. This was news that dropped like in October or something like that, October or November. I remember it was one of the first stories I wrote for Sports Illustrated was about this. The Rock's a busy guy, and The Rock, I think, either like if he cares about this being leaked, like then work WrestleMania, I guess, right? Like I don't know, I don't know what to tell you. Like work WrestleMania. Or don't, but being mad about it being leaked is kind of silly. It's like people are going to find out eventually, like if you're not there, they're going to find out. I don't get why Rock would be angry about something like this, but it's The Rock. And I think, call me crazy, but I think The Rock cares about his image. I want to say, I think that's something that he cares about. So there you go. But Rock, if you're listening to this, we know you do. So if you're listening or when you listen, it doesn't matter, man. You're good. You're all good. You are all good. Yeah, Andrew, the intrigue does sell tickets, but it's WrestleMania. Like I think those tickets are accounted for. I think, they're going to sell out. And that's the thing. Like, whether The Rock's there or not, I think they're going to sell a boatload of tickets, even at the ridiculous prices that they're being sold at. So, yeah. All right. Let me see. Let me just check the little news feed here to make sure that I didn't miss anything. No, yeah, all good on that front. I think we covered the news of the morning. Let me check Twitter just to make sure that nothing like crazy dropped that we have to talk about. I don't want to. Always hate when that happens, when I get off the air and I'm like, man, should have checked that out, or should have talked about that. So let me grab the news here and just see. No stuff about Dynamite, but we'll do a full Dynamite preview tomorrow. Yeah, so all good. All right, so for tonight's episode of NXT, pretty big tag team match and an appearance from Charlotte Flair. So this is what the card looks like right now. It's a Charlotte Flair appearance. So she's gonna confront Julia. She said this yesterday on Raw, that she was going to go to NXT and check out what's going on with Julia. Maybe, she almost teased a match with Julia at WrestleMania. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen, Julia versus Charlotte Flair, although down the road, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. But yeah, no, she's going to be on the show confronting Julia, but I don't think anything's really going to come of it. We've got NXT champion Oba Femi teaming with Trick Williams to take on A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Stephanie Vacure will take on JC Jane. Carmen Petrovich will take on Kalani Jordan. Ridge Holland will face Channing Stacks Lorenzo. And then there will be a Vengeance Day Women's Summit with NXT Women's Champion Julia and her challengers Bayley and Roxanne Perez. So a nice little build segment there for Vengeance Day, which is coming up on the horizon. So tomorrow on the show we will review NXT, preview AEW Dynamite, and of course talk to everybody checking out all the news of the day. Cool. All right, we'll wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much. Really fun show. Thanks to everybody who tuned in live. Thanks for everybody in the live chat. Eddie jumped in there at the very end. Eddie, glad we got to see you for a little bit. Amy, hopefully we gave you a good rundown of the key pieces of Raw. That's the point here. So let me know if we did or didn't. But I thank everybody for joining us. And once again, if you are able to check out more of my work at Brass Ring Media, you can head over to Patreon now and take a look at our membership options. It's only $4 a month. And I think you get a ton of value for our members. We do a member-only show every single week, podcast for members. That was it. We also have all of our pay-per-view and PLE review shows we do for members. That is just updated yesterday with the Royal Rumble review show, so you can check that out. You get full access to our member Discord, which is where everybody hangs out. I think it's a good time. Always fun to see everybody in there just chatting wrestling and chatting life. Full access to the newsletter and also quite a few other perks. So head over there. Check us out. Patreon.com. We would love to earn your business, and we'll do our best to make sure that we do. So once again, it's patreon.com/BrassRingMedia. Yeah, Eddie brought up one last point here that I want to get to before we ride off. Netflix was pretty rough last night. It was like the Wyatt Six or Bray Wyatt was like trying to like cut into the show like every few minutes, like the last hour, I'd say. At least for me, it was the last hour. They got to fix that. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. That is not a professional presentation of your show when that's happening. And that is something that's going to turn off viewers. People aren't going to deal with that. That's something that just doesn't and can't happen in 2025. This was really bad. I agree with Eddie. They got to get it fixed. They got to get it fixed soon. Thanks, Eddie. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. We'll catch you tomorrow right here on 1TS Daily Live at One True Sport. I'm Zack Heydorn. Talk to you soon. See ya.